Hi everyone, this is C again, and I bought some books recently, so I am going to show them to you. I've really kind of always enjoyed watching book haul type videos. They're really relaxing to me. I'm not really sure why, but if I need to take a nap during the day or just have something on in the background, I a lot of the time will put on book hauls. They're just peaceful and calming to me, so I hope that this video is relaxing for you to watch as well. I haven't really had the chance to buy new books recently. Just books are expensive, but I finished my speed reading course today, and so I treated myself with getting a couple new books. I also bought a couple of other books just throughout the last couple of months. Most of them are just stuff that I wanted to read for fun, but I also have a couple of books that I got that were assigned reading for school as well. The first book that I got was for school, and it is called Jesus' Son by Dennis Johnson. It is a collection of short stories that follow one main character through different versions of his life. This is called a novel in fragments. So basically the story starts when he's in his mid-20s, but there's also stuff of him when he's in his 30s and when he's in his early teens. And it kind of follows this character who does not have a given name. The only name that we know of him is a nickname, Fuckhead. That's the only name that he's referred to as throughout this book. And it just is talking about his life as he starts to struggle with substance abuse and addiction. I've read about one short story out of here for my English class. I enjoy it so far, and I'm excited to see what I think of it as I continue reading these short stories. It's really short. It's only 130 something pages, so I'm sure that I will get through this fast during my class, but I'm reading it slowly because I'm just reading it as the short stories are assigned. The next book that I got was Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. I've never read anything by Octavia Butler. I am 100 or so pages through it right now. This is also for a class that I'm in. I am really enjoying it so far. Parable of the Sower is kind of referred to as being one of the first teen dystopian books. We follow Lauren, and she is living in a world set in 2024, and it is uncomfortable to read because I think that it is very similar to a lot of the situations that we are dealing with right now. There is a giant water crisis. There are a lot of corrupt government issues happening. There is a big issue with big pharma and with medication. There's no healthcare for anyone. So this book is talking about how she ends up dealing with it. I don't fully know what ends up happening. Again, I'm only 100 pages in, so right now what I know is that people who can afford to live in gated, walled communities, and everything outside of that is deemed as dirty and unsafe. But I'm really enjoying this so far, and I am probably gonna end up doing a review on it after I finish it for the class that I'm in. The next book that I am reading is something that I am reading just for fun, and that is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I've heard a lot about this book for a long time online, and so I decided I wanted to pick it up and give it a try. I've been really enjoying it so far. I'm 250-ish pages through it right now, and it is really, really good, and I'm excited to finish it and then probably read the sequel not too long after. This basically is a spin-off series from another series by Leigh Bardugo, but I guess you don't have to read the first series to read this one. I didn't. This series seemed a bit more interesting to me. It is a fantasy book set in a reimagined version of Amsterdam, and it is about a group of teen criminals who end up doing a heist. It's very interesting so far. I'm a big fan of the writing style. I love the flashbacks that are happening. I will definitely be making a full video about this in the future. So those were the books that I'm currently reading / the books I'm reading for school. I have about 5 more books, and these were all books that I just picked up because I thought they looked interesting and because I've been wanting more fun things to read. The next book that I got is Truthwitch by Susan Dennard. I hate this cover, sorry. I just every time I see it, I do not like covers with people on them. I think they look really bad. But anyway, the content of this book is what matters, and that seems really interesting. It is a fantasy series that basically there are these 3 different empires that are all kind of warring and fighting, and some people are born with powers. The main character, Safia, has a power where she is able to tell when someone is lying and when someone is telling the truth, which is, of course, like a very helpful skill to have. And because of that, people from these different empires and like mercenaries and all of these different types of people are trying to work with her, and she has to keep her truth-telling abilities a secret. It seems like there are other kinds of witches in this world as well, and it seems like there is something to do with the ship. I'm a big fan of pirates, so I'm hoping that it will have some fun ship elements to it. I don't know a whole lot about this book, but I kind of like going into books not knowing too much about them, so I am looking forward to this read for sure. So the next book that I got from a used bookstore, and there's part of me that regrets getting it just a little bit, but I ended up buying it because I dragged my mom to this used bookstore that's kind of far from where I live, and then there wasn't really anything I wanted, and everything there was like kind of really expensive for a used bookstore. Like I'm not used to used bookstores having books that are like paperbacks for $14. I paid a little bit less than that for the book I got, but it was still like just kind of expensive. But I was like, well, I came all the way out here, so I wanted to get something. And so I picked up Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I've heard about this book. I've heard very mixed things about this book, so I am interested in seeing what I think. It's basically set in 2044, and it is about this kid who goes into the virtual reality hub, and there is a competition, I guess, within the virtual reality hub that he is competing in, and that's really all I know about it. I've heard kind of conflicting things. This is not really what I'm wanting to read right now. I'm wanting to read a bit more like fantasy type books, not as much sci-fi at the moment. So I probably won't pick this one up for a little while, but I do have it for the next time I am hankering for some sci-fi. The next two books that I have are books that I got in the Barnes & Noble like sale section. I have not heard of either of these books before, so I'm excited to pick them up and kind of see what they're about. But both of these books were $6 brand new at Barnes & Noble, and I was like, honestly, I'm just gonna get these and pick them up, and we'll see what we think of them. The first of my sale books that I ended up getting was Once Upon a River by Diane Setterfield. And this, I love this cover, by the way. I think that this is beautiful. But this is basically about a inn that is on a river, and this man walks in with a little girl who's passed out in his arms, and she, when she wakes up, is mute and can't say who she is or where she's from or why she looked to be on the brink of death and is alive again. And the like tagline for this is 3 girls are missing, 1 is returned, a story begins. It seems really interesting. This seems like it'll be very mysterious. I'm hoping it'll be kind of whimsical. I don't really know a whole lot about it, but it seems to be like a mystery, so I don't really want to know very much about this, if that makes sense. But I like this cover a lot, so I'm hoping that I will like the content of what is inside just as much. The next book that I got was See What I Have Done by Sarah Schmidt. I've also never heard of this book or author. I believe, yeah, it's her debut. This is her debut book, and it is a fictionalized telling of the Lizzie Borden murder. It was in the 1800s, a girl who axe murdered her parents, and it seems really interesting because it's told from multiple perspectives, one of them being Lizzie, so there's going to be a really interesting, like, unreliable narrator type of situation going on. I've never heard of this book, ever, but I am thinking that it'll be kind of a fun, like, spooky Halloween read. I'm hoping it'll be just dark and interesting, and I'm excited to get into this probably later this month. It's early October while I'm filming this, so we'll see when I pick this up, but I'm hoping it'll be soon. The last book that I will be showing y'all today is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. I've never read anything by Brandon Sanderson, but I've heard a lot about him, and so when I was like researching his different series and looking at what I thought would be fun to read, I found Skyward, and this series, there's 2 books out right now and a 3rd coming out next year. It is Brandon Sanderson's like young adult sci-fi series. It looks interesting to me. I think it'll be kind of fun. Basically, there's this girl named Spencer, and she wants to be a pilot. Pilots in this world are like the heroes of the last of the human race, and she ends up finding a like broken down ship and is like, I'm gonna repair it. And then she finds out the ship has a conscience of some sort, and she has to like befriend this spaceship, is what it seems like to me. Again, as is the theme with all of these, I don't know a ton about it, but the premise of that is very interesting to me. Also a big fan of anything having to do with pilots. I just think it's fun. I just think it's neat. So I'm excited to pick this one up. I know I was saying I'm not in a sci-fi mood earlier, but this might be the next book that I pick up. Maybe. I'll see how I'm feeling. But overall, I'm excited. I like the purple. Don't love the cover, but I do like the purple and the gold. I think that looks nice. So I'm excited to see how I enjoy Skyward. Alrighty, so those are all of the books that I picked up that I'll be showing you today. Overall, I got, I think, a nice little mix of things, and I'm excited to continue reading the books that I've already started and hopefully make videos about those in the near future. But overall, I will see y'all in my next video, and I hope you are all having a really good day. Bye!